Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in to this Tuesday edition of the Establish the Run NBA DFS Injury Analysis Show. I am your fill-in host for one Drew Dinkmeyer, Gary Hartman, joined with the best in the business at breaking down all injury information, rotation notes, anything NBA related. Mike Gallagher. Mike, how you doing?
Doing good. Just did a pod with Dink this morning, working on matchups, got all my quotes done. Yeah, nice little mini slate, but did good amount of Q tags. I think there's 13 total. Some of them are kind of fake, but yeah, no. Tomorrow's gonna be nuts, but yeah, we're gonna have plenty to talk about today.
Yep. Only 5 games in the association tonight. But of those 5 games, I think we only have 4 of the 10 teams that are on island games. So 6 of the 10 that are on either the front or second end of a back-to-back, and lots of injury tags for a 5 games. So let's dive right in. There's 3 7:30 Eastern games tonight. So we'll start with the Lakers Hawks one. Lakers played last night. They did play LeBron and AD. AD already ruled out way in advance of today. LeBron is questionable here. Cam Reddish and Gabe Vincent obviously still out. What are your Lakers notes with no Anthony Davis tonight? And do you have any lean on LeBron here?
Yeah, LeBron said he plans to play, but it was pretty clear to me last night based on Darvin Ham's comments they were going to sit AD. Wasn't feeling right. I think the quote was exactly he said he's, quote, dealing with some physical issues we saw over the weekend with the hip spasms, limping around yesterday, groin injury, been listed with Achilles stuff. It was pretty clear he was sitting. And then on top of that, they kept him out of this game late because A, he was, as I mentioned, dealing with the physical issues, and B, because Jackson Hayes was playing pretty well, which leads us to believe that Jackson Hayes is going to start today. So expecting him to start, Christian Wood filling in for the most of those non-Hayes minutes. We got him at 24 Hayes. So we've got a pretty good inclination, pretty good projection on him from a minute standpoint, given how was essentially out of the rotation before AD kind of got hurt, and it was kind of garbage time. They got kind of smoked despite what the score says here. They got kind of some late fourth quarter output there. But yeah, we'll take LeBron at his word. I definitely could see him possibly sitting this one out. Maybe Magic City it up or something. But yeah, so expecting a starting lineup of D'Lo, Reeves, Taurean Prince, LeBron, and then Jackson Hayes with more Wood, more Vando. Vando got ejected yesterday, so he'll be fresh. I think his minutes could be pretty strong here. So, and then Rui Hachimura will cover the non-LeBrons. We'll see if they go small. Teams don't usually do that against the Hawks, though.
Yeah, that was even my note on Vando, is to not be fooled by that box score there, as he had been ejected last night. So, yeah, I think he could get pretty strong minutes. Other side of this game, this game's in Atlanta, so we have the Hawks. Trae Young was back last game. We do have DeJounte Murray questionable here, though, and DeAndre Hunter questionable as well. How long has Hunter's been out for a while? Am I right about that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, serious knee injury for him. So, yeah, it should be a minutes limit for sure. DeAndre Hunter has had quite a lengthy knee injury history, so I could certainly see him missing this game. I'm sorry, you could see him either missing this game or having a limit on him there. DeJounte, this hamstring thing's new. I mentioned, earlier this month, this is really the first time he's popped up with hamstring issues, but they're showing up here. Certainly could see him sitting this one out. Bogdan will get the start in his place there. I don't think they would go like jumbo or anything. So I think Hunter starts for Sadiq Bey. Obviously, Jalen Johnson has to start. He's just been too good. So kind of straightforward there. And again, not really much of a lean on DeJounte overall. And should mention they went tight on this weekend. Yep. Quinn Snyder said they didn't really want to do that, and that was a little unusual, which isn't necessarily true. They play pretty tight, but yeah, I think that not one of those teams that is not in a back-to-back. They don't play tomorrow, so I could see the minutes getting elevated again, especially if LeBron plays.
Yeah, Tibbs-esque there for those Hawks minutes for sure. Yeah, so island game, as you mentioned, for Hawks. Another team on an island game tonight is the Indiana Pacers, but boy, do they have a lengthy injury report. We have Tyrese Halliburton questionable, Benedict Mathurin questionable, Jalen Smith questionable, Miles Turner questionable, all the G League guys questionable, and TJ McConnell was ruled out. I don't know where to start. I guess Halliburton, take it wherever you want with the Pacers.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go Halliburton first. He did about 20 minutes of scrimmaging with the, quote, low-minute guys, according to Rick Carlisle, and all signs are he will return. Should kind of just go through the backstory here. We saw that what looked like a catastrophic injury, and then he came back sooner than we thought, and he said he couldn't aggravate his hamstring when he returned to that one game. But yeah, it sounds like that wasn't really like a setback. He said he had to kind of go back to square one. But again, they've been kind of trending, getting him ready for this game, national TV game. It seems like this is a pretty clear target. Expect a minutes limit on him here. And yeah, and that's he'll be starting. I think he starts next, especially with TJ out. You're probably going to put Nemhard in the bench role, so expect Buddy Hield, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, and then we'll see about Miles Turner. I guess let's get to him now. He is trending in the right direction, according to Rick Carlisle. Did some stuff yesterday, so it seems like he's got a pretty good chance to play. Obviously, if he doesn't play, Jalen Smith would get the start. Isaiah Jackson behind him to cover the vast majority of those minutes. Could still see them playing smaller at times, especially against Boston. We saw an earlier matchup this year. They went real small with a lot of Obi center. So that could be a case. So Obi kind of low-key benefits if Miles Turner does miss. I think they'd be leaning into him. Obi's been playing pretty well. He had obviously a huge game like 4 games ago. But yeah, Mathurin would benefit like a little bit. But adding in Halliburton is a bigger minus than the plus of taking away Miles Turner.
For sure. You mentioned Mathurin. Do you have any lean there? He's questionable with his toe sprain.
Yeah, it sounded like Carlisle didn't have much information on there, so kind of flying a little bit blind there. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be serious.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, keep an eye on our projections there. If you're behind the paywall, obviously we'll be updating with any information.
I mentioned Jalen Smith's also questionable too, so
yeah, right,
they might have to go just really, like they're really banged up. So Isaiah Jackson would start if like everybody's out, but I think one of them is going to play.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it could be a big Obi night, especially on a 5-game slate. But it is a tough matchup. They're in Boston tonight, and Boston is on the second night of a back-to-back, as we kind of anticipated with the Horford-Porzingis of it all. KP sat last night. Al Horford played tonight. Al Horford already ruled out. Kristaps Porzingis is questionable though, with the ankle. I mean, he's listed with the ankle. Obviously, he stepped weirdly in that game a couple games ago. You expecting KP to go tonight, or do you think this is a legit Q tag, just like with the ankle itself?
Yeah, I think it's not like fake Q, but expecting him to play. Yeah. Again, you're sitting out Horford and ruling him out. That's a pretty clear indication that they're probably expecting him to play. So I think if they, if they didn't feel good about Porzingis, maybe they put the Q rest tag on Horford, which we've seen from them before. Horford did play a lot yesterday. He had one of the biggest plays of the game, had a big offensive rebound when the Pelicans are going small. Pretty solid game from him. Team high plus 12 there. And then, yeah, just we'll see. Obviously, if, KP's in there, he's starting. And then if not, curious to see what they do against. We've seen usually either it's probably have to be Neemias Queta because they don't have the Unicornet. The Cornet also dealing with a hamstring. He's doubtful. So it could get pretty thin. Wouldn't be surprised if they do like a token starter. We saw in previous instances, especially if Miles Turner doesn't play, we saw that Lamar Stevens start and then play next to Jason Tatum, who was like functionally a center. So it's kind of unclear if KP can't go. But again, I think he's going to be out there.
Yeah, and we saw Queta and Brissett both crack the rotation last night. And Horford played 36 last night. So even if Porzingis goes, I don't know if he gets up that high. So it's possible that we see some more minutes on the Quetas of the world. We shall see. It also depends who Indiana has, right? Like if they're without Turner and Jalen Smith and et cetera. So we'll see. Cool. All right. Got through those big Q tags. Let's go to the game in my hometown tonight, Utah and New York. Both these teams on the second end of a back-to-back. The Jazz, though, just stayed in New York. They were in Brooklyn last night, and they're clean. They just have the G League guys out. Any notes on Utah's rotation at all?
Yeah, so I mentioned in our Slack, we have a Will Hardy emoji for the people who are doing minutes and they're making them too low. And we put a tips for people who put them too high. Will Hardy had the Will Hardiest of Will Hardy quotes yesterday. He said that they're going to play 10 people no matter what because it's good for their collective strength. And he said like 3 or 4 times, we're going to play 10 and we're going to beat you as a group was the quote. So yeah, this is going to be, are they going to switch the order of these 10? Their defense has been really, really bad lately, giving up 147 to a Nets team that wasn't scoring. Although shout out to Ben Simmons, he played a really good game. But
yeah,
you mentioned this a little bit like midweek last week. They were like, do they switch things up a little bit? Like we know the 10, but like, does he bring in Taylor Horn Tucker for somebody? Kind of unclear. So I wouldn't we're not on like red alert that we could get a lineup change here. But they're going to try. It sounded like they're going to try to look at some stuff pretty soon. We know Will Hardy likes his samples, so he wouldn't make a hasty decision, I don't think. But Again, expecting the 10 to be the same order, but don't be surprised if we see a curveball.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. But at least we do know the 10. The Knicks side is a little bit more murky with what a half hour before the game or an hour before the game. I guess it was at the end of the show with Dink and myself last night. OG Anunoby ruled out right elbow inflammation. I guess it flared up during shoot around yesterday. He is listed questionable today. I am, as a Knicks fan, am not happy about this. I am nervous that this is going to linger. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I guess you give me a little background on OG's injury history in general, but any lean on him tonight? Obviously, they're still without Randall and Mitch, and then Evan Fournier is still listed out for personal reasons too.
Yeah, late scratch, man. It's been a big trend. As you mentioned, he went through shoot around. They were expecting him to play, and then just felt it in warmups, pulled him out. And shout out to you guys on the DFS show, correctly calling that Precious Achiuwa was going to get the start and played really good game, man. Just the defensive impact.
Strong D, man.
He
really,
did come
really
around on. He came up as a 4, and he's been kind of like pigeonholed as to more of a 5. But Tibbs loved it. He glowingly talked about Precious's impact, and should also mention Isaiah Hartenstein on a 25 minutes limit. Didn't play it because they didn't need to with kind of a big blowout win there. And Tibbs had mentioned that the kind of, silver lining of the Hartenstein minutes limit has been Precious, been playing so well. So maybe Precious tries to find his way to another minutes. Obviously, no Julius Randle for weeks, not months. And then Dante DiVincenzo, all the minutes. Josh Hart, all the minutes. We got really lucky with we were going to win that bet anyways with DiVincenzo over. But they're going to play a bunch. Really, the whole roster stepped up. Quentin Grimes played pretty well at the bench. Those minutes were way more secure. A little bit inflated from garbage time, but just all around. I don't really have a great read on OG. It's elbow inflammation, but was called quote day to day according to Tibbs. So certainly could miss another one. Utah maybe they hold him out. It's really tough to get a read on this situation.
Yeah, I mean, if OG's out again, like I was saying in Slack also, Tibbs' hand is forced. He doesn't want to play certain guys together. He's so concerned about size and matchups, but he doesn't have much of a chance. So we saw plenty of DiVincenzo next to Grimes. That's been like the big pairing that the Knicks beat has been on, asking him about, that he's just so unwilling to play together. Last night, he didn't have a choice. Grimes, as you mentioned, 32 minutes, but he did have 16 first half minutes. I know we faded an over there, which ended up working out. He shot 3 of 11, 1 of 6, but yeah, I mean, still made his impact on the defensive end. We'll see. Do you have any lean on OG tonight? I mean, it's like tennis elbow, right? That's basically what it is. No, it's not.
I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Elbow inflammation. Yeah. Shooting elbow. Yeah. It's like I said, called day to day. That's
right.
They're off for what, a couple? Well, they're only off for one more day. They get the pace.
Yeah. Only one more day. I'm hoping. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that it was just precautionary last night, but we'll see. But yeah, I think you'll see more of what we saw last night. Obviously, that was a blowout. They had that huge third quarter. So you mentioned the Hartenstein minutes. I could see him getting back up to where his limit is if it's a closer game. But yeah, from what you see here, I would expect more of the same if it's the same guys tonight. All right, Toronto, they're really banged up too. The two ex-Knicks both expected to miss tonight. RJ Barrett ruled out already. Emmanuel quickly doubtful with the quad contusion. And then Jakob Poeltl, good news, he is questionable here. So I guess, I'll throw it to you with Toronto. How do you expect them to replace RJ and Quickly's roles and anything else for Toronto here?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is pretty nasty. So we've got Jakob Poeltl went through some practice. I don't really think there's much to say. They were missing these guys over the weekend, and they started Schroeder, Bruce Brown, Gary Trent, obviously Scotty, who got some handling still, even with the extra handling in the first unit, and then probably get Jakob Poeltl again going through practice. Has been doing on court stuff for like over a week now. Timeline wise, he's good, so expect him to play. We have him at 24 minutes, Poeltl, and I would normally be lower just because minutes limit concerns and then not closing concerns, but they don't have anybody else to close with. So I think he's still pretty good to close. That's why we've got 24. Grady Dick played pretty well in the last game, talked up by Darko, saying that he had some rookie moments and some good moments. And then Jordan Nwora kind of came out of nowhere, had a really big game. So I think those are going to kind of be their main bench pieces. Curious to see if Thad ices Jonte Porter, who's kind of fallen down a little bit, lost his starting job here, but could get really big minutes out of Scotty. Matchups not great for ball handlers. Gary Trent, obviously, this is the best matchup possible for him, so expect him to kind of fire away with off-ball shooting.
Yeah, Nora, 31 minutes definitely stood out to me. We'll see how high up he can get with Pirtle back, but it seems like he's in the rotation for sure. And had huge Bruce Brown minutes. And we were talking about, would they take it easy with him like likely away in a week and a half or whatever. But nope, they're playing him. So no concern there. Other side of this game, Chicago, I think they're an island. Oh no, they're on the front end. I think they're the only team on the front end tonight. So they are still without Zach LaVine. He's been out 4 games, likely going to be out through the trade deadline at this point. So is what I was reading before. So like he may have played his last game as a Bull at this point. And then, still no Torrey Craig. And then we got the news on Patrick Williams today. Was it a couple weeks was the news there that he's going to be out? Yep. So
2 weeks.
I'd imagine his role is going to stay pretty strong. And then any other notes here on Chicago?
Yeah. Basically probably till All-Star break for Paul. And then just the minutes again, like DeMar and Kobe just play so much. I think they're still first and second in total minutes this season, and they're not. The Bulls aren't number 1 for games played anymore. I think a couple of teams had passed them. Their schedule softened up in the last week, but yeah, this is a matchup. I think that's going to be pretty strong. Kobe's ball handling role has been really strong. Drives, yada yada yada. So those guys should be pretty busy. You get the DeMar revenge game factor. It's in Chicago though, but yeah, DeSumo's locked and loaded. Julian Phillips picked up a big rotation chunk and got talked up quite a bit for his cutting and basketball IQ. So I think he's going to be in there again. Obviously, Drummond, getting the non-Vooches with a little bit of overlap again. They're a little bit more open to it just because they don't have anybody.
About that.
Yeah, they just don't have anybody.
With Craig out too, Craig and Paul out, you expect to see a little bit of that going forward.
Yeah. They just don't have the. I mean, they're playing like Phillips like that many minutes. It's look at all these minutes here. So I think that they kind of have to. They just until they get Craig back, who's starting to trend back here. But again,
well, that's good news.
I haven't got that far, but like a couple minutes, just nothing. Just to give him a little bit of a ceiling.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Last game of the night, probably the most unclear one. TNT 10:00 game, Philadelphia in Golden State. We did see Embiid sit again after I'm still pissed off about how they handled Denver a couple over the weekend, but Embiid missed last night. We are waiting for them to file tonight. Do you have any idea on what to expect out of the Sixers, who are also been without Tyrese Maxey here now?
Yeah, nothing. We'll see. Keith Pompey, the longtime beat writer, he was on the news and in the afternoon yesterday that they were going to be without Embiid. Interesting timing there. So I think he's got a chance to miss again. He obviously hurt himself or, had some discomfort, I guess you could say, while warming up. Apparently a hard workout, according to Adam Levitan, with boots on the ground over there. So yeah, don't really have much else to say. Patrick Beverley's potential assists were more or less cut in half. I think he had 22 2 games ago, and then 10 minutes were a little bit later because they got blown out. They couldn't cover Jeremy Grant. They couldn't, Simons had a kind of a rough, a patchy game, but Grant was awesome. Ayton's been playing pretty well. Jabari, board machine, but we'll see. Tobias returned from illness, but just didn't have it. We'll see if he gets tagged too. So kind of in the dark, but expecting at least 2 Q tags, possibly 2 Q tags or worse, I should say. 2 Qs, 2 doubtfuls, or 2 outs. Definitely expecting some people on there.
Knicks fan Gary, which is, the main personality of Gary, is very excited by this Blazers win last night. And if Embiid and Maxey want to sit for a longer time, fine with me, as we are now tied in the games back column in the standings in the 3 seed. So go Knicks. All right, other side.
Golden. This is getting. I was going to mention just really quick. This is getting tight on MVP, man.
He's got 5 games left. He can miss 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
There's no way There's no way.
Yeah. Halliburton only has 3 for all NBA because one game where he got hurt, he didn't hit the minutes criteria. Like you have to hit the minutes criteria for those.
Oh shit! Games. Right? Yeah, you need 20 minutes or whatever.
So he missed the criteria as well. So he only has 3 more to go.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that's so interesting. I wonder who's going to get hit with that. With the All NBA stuff, I don't love it for All NBA. I kind of get it for the MVP stuff, but I wouldn't have made it the same amount of games for All NBA. I would have made it maybe
because it affects their money, man. Like the All NBA,
exactly.
You get bigger max extensions and stuff. So that's kind of crappy.
And like, there's certain guys that like will play, 60 games in a year or 65, 64 or whatever. And those 64 games are way more impactful than someone that played 73, but like that 73 guy is going to get the nod. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, I digress. Golden State side of things. I lost my notes here for a second. Where did they go? They're on an island game, which is nice. Nothing new here. No Moses Moody, no Chris Paul, no Gary Payton. 2, Jonathan Kuminga's role continues to rise. Any notes here on Golden State?
We know the starting lineup. We've been playing who the hell is in the start game for about a month now, 2 months now, but I feel very, very confident, and Steve Kerr basically confirmed it that they'll be starting going forward. Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Kuminga, and Draymond Green. Mentioned that he liked the athleticism. I thought that front court looked pretty good and agile against a tough front court on the other end with AD and LeBron. So, yeah, expect that to be very, very impactful and a lot of minutes overall. I mean, you see on the screen all those 40s, obviously double overtime, a huge factor. But Kuminga's been great, man. And Wiggins is playing really well. I thought Wiggins has kind of found his stroke. He looks more comfortable off ball. His defenses look significantly better. So, yeah, expect those guys to start. And then, Looney and Trace Jackson-Davis get the Draymond scraps. And that's pretty much it. Draymond almost had a triple-double. Draymond's going to play a lot, man, because his minutes have looked kind of locked and loaded. Pods will be kind of the sixth man. Dario Saric's minutes are going to come down a little bit. And obviously, if Kuminga has a bad game, then I think that would, boost up Dario a little bit. They could still play smaller. But yeah, for the first time since I don't even know how long, we could write in pen, assuming no one gets scratched. That's the theme this time of year. But yeah, I feel pretty good about the starting lineup today.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know we're only at the end of January, but like the Warriors need wins. Just they need any win they could possibly get. So I'm not surprised to see these minutes really condensed, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I know this was 2 overtime, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it moving forward. Big minutes and a condensed rotation for their current situation. So keep an eye there. All right, Mike, is there anything else to add? We covered all 5 games here. Anything else to add that you're looking forward to tonight, or
yes,
let the people
Steve Kerr said that that was their quote best 5, and he said he didn't want to talk about the free throw discrepancy because his mom was there, so he wanted to be on his best behavior. Yeah,
not like Ed Edwards, who's I'm gonna take the fine.
Yep. Oh yeah,
that was great.
Love it. Great win for
all right, great, good stuff. So thank you all for joining us. Please do give this video a thumbs up. We are. And please subscribe to the page. Tell your friends. You're not getting this kind of information anywhere else on the interwebs, where we're daily breakdowns of the injury information. If you're watching this, you know how valuable it is, but please spread the word so we can keep giving you these videos for free. We really appreciate it. Behind the paywall today, you will have the debut of Mike on the DFS show and Sam. You may have heard of our colleague Sam. Mike, I expect to hear that great hiking chemistry that you guys have come through on the show. So yeah, Sam's super sharp guy, going to be making his debut on the DFS show at 5:00 Eastern. So check out everything we have going on behind the paywall for obviously the live shows, all the projections, all of our props packages is right there on your screen, establishedrun.com/subscribe-MBA. Check it out. Very excited. Fun 5 games ahead tonight. And we will see you back here tomorrow. Good luck in everything you have going on. Thanks. Take care, everybody.